That is on the 17th of April. And the letter from PPA that has reference number there and all that. PPA are saying they did not approve the $300,000 and the other $300,000. So who actually approved it and who paid? Because PPA for Chirokoma Audit Service said, Bobo, we don't know anything about this extension, and it's in the remarks. Now, when you go down there, October to December 2020, another $300,000. Remember, and yesterday is something you can know how. Bøst, Provincial. Bøst, another 300,000 extension. Then he made it 900. Now remember, say, and that $300,000 bill, and you 300, and no, $300,000 every month. Into 3 months, Biano, and you're saying $900,000. Into money for 6 months, but technically, on the books of PPA, the job is supposed to be done for 3 months. But do you know the funny thing? What they are doing now is they are extending the contracts at their own pace. Every month be $300,000. Every month be $300,000. Every month be $300,000. But originally, it is just $300,000, which was supposed to be because the job was supposed to be done for just 1 month. But now it ended up say every month they are paying $300,000. So every 3 months they pay $900,000. Putting it together for 6 months, it is $1.8 million. And PPA is saying they can only vouch for only one $300,000. The rest they don't know how it came in. These companies, this South African company. Now the question is, what happened for the procurement, irregular procurement? Who were the leaders at Bøst then? Those people are supposed to be brought back. You see, we need to make sure, nothing leaks, irrespective of the government in power. If it was NDC time, people are supposed to be questioned. We don't have to be selective about Yakwati way for NDC. MPP for Din Kwasiasam. 99% of this crime happening, it is happening under Provincial. But still, the audit service has been able to find something in 2016. So we need to get to the bottom of it. We need to get to the bottom of who was the head of Bøst in 2016. We need to bring them. Who signed the document? Who was at procurement? These people are supposed to answer questions. And we don't have to say because of this party, because of this party, so let it go. No, we are talking about $50 million. The way the government of the day today is going after other people, the government should be able to make sure it goes after everybody who has offended, who has gone against the law. So as we sit here, who is actually asking the questions? Who is actually bringing people in to answer questions? And these are things that every day I keep saying. If you think the platform is for somebody's good day, you are crazy. The platform is to check the system. And if they say all these documents are fake, they should bring us their right documents. The president has this. The audit service has this. The auditor general has it. Everybody has it. It is confidential. They CC all of them in there. Why is everybody quiet? This is Bøst Rot Part 2. Okay, so the last time Bøst Rot, I told you guys about a year audit service, some internal audit to be on Bøst. Now remember, this audit in 2021. I think about 2021. I think I'm 2021, 2022, right? Yes, I think I'm right. I stand to be corrected. Now, audit service na serious auditing. Now remember, these are some of the auditing where and then I'm come auditor general at the end of the day, share a year budget money there. We need to understand, this document I'm showing you, audit service didn't say it's fake. They should come out and say, everything I'm showing on this show, document, is fake. Now, out there, you need to understand, Sasika we are yaking. We know that Sasika in our audit service and auditor general, he knows for a fact to say we have lost this money through the inconsistencies and also people negligence inti saa sika we nyina ahwere Ghana. It's important say better as I said the Auditor General adwuma no say baby a sika ye hwere sika no obe make sure say omo no mo ye heads no obe search charge omo na sankofo no ye be prosecute omo companies are omo de koti kwan so enya contract every government institutions and as a state owned enterprises no say ye correction kratem ne de mra no toto ho na say it is not the right way and was in conform ye involved ni nyina no from procurement office to Bøst office to the management, especially the boss of Bøst, they have to face the law. Because before audit service enters any state-owned enterprise, and I say, I buy ejumabumbiano, ya embra e bon ho buy, embra e bo jumadia okodi ho buy, embra no so stated clearly. And it's now audit service, and I say Auditor General, or tro bibia, or din kind the embrano act no edi enim, and sana or de eye asemna wako find it, and I say research, and I say inquiries okoye no atwaso. Send ye beya. Ukai eya emra edaho efa asem no ho a na wahu bebi a nipa na wodi wafom mra no bebi a wo se yede ne to de wo se ye se twene wo se twena so a wo se twena so. So it is important. Kofi Azuma will be back very soon. I think we mistakenly blocked him. So Kofi Azuma will be back. I think there was a mistake. Okay, Kofi Azuma is he was blocked on YouTube. So tell Kofi Azuma say he'll be back on this show tomorrow. We will try and take him off the blocked people. It was a mistake from my team. Now the issue here is yenko a audit service for audit no year Bøst. Na yenko hwe de esi ho say Auditor General no adentina onim se dream we nyina akoso na still me no ka say nobody has been charged, nobody has been brought to book, and still abaning him these amount of money a year losing. Still, Abani and make any move to stop all these leakages, the corruption, the inconsistency, the deliberate breach of the law. Our Bøst. Adentina yeda ho ti ha. Still, ye busa Ghana for say omo betua e-levy. Abra ye betume si sa sika ye hwere no anokwan. Take your time tonight. We might be doing a lot of reading. Now me say if I can go through all this. Now, audit service reports no ba kunie. And these are confidential materials a show we so kwa na obia ehunu o Ghana me say 11 no mo obia ntua wo ekufuado ne MPP aban o me akromfo sika no wo ho omo wie sika no omo mfi sika no no mo fanye 11 no. Now audit observation memo confidential material mo nyina mo Bulk Oil Transport and Storage Company Limited reference number Bøst 2020 audits to the managing director. It was directed to the managing director after audit service. Ekoye omo inquiries, omo investigations. This is what they came up with. Into this confidential document now, audit service Auditor General it is with the managing director. The president too has one because the presidency was CC'd. The finance minister has one because the finance minister was CC'd. Government institutions, the vice president's office, they were all CC'd. So this is not just say a documenter obienimo. They all have copies. The manager of Bøst, he has copies of this. Now let's see this. I'm going to expand it. It will be easy for me to also read it. Now, when you read, we shall be grateful for your comments on the following audit observations. Please return your comment duly signed and dated. The response should please be finished latest by January 7, 2022. Your January saying your March 2nd. It should be sent back. Say Auditor General back no be audit. Na so ka say bring a response and some ya be hu ensisi sunti ye pe imwaye na say within 2 weeks wanya the Auditor General has to surcharge that institution. Ayemra edaho. Now January 7, 2022 and ananka was say Bøst a reply Auditor General. As we sit here no reply has come. So Auditor General reply o because the law is there. Now mo hwe dey see here into Auditor General hide all these criminal sika when you sika and Auditor General at so and all catch Ghana for so finance ministry mon ko catch Ghana for say yentua 11 where ye ne sika nipa bi afa enya bontinfo omo Ghana yenyi mo nyina ye CC omo managing director of Bøst companies omo nyina nam Ghana Auditor General nim yete so nipa wie ye sika millions And so you say you pay e-levy. Magana ni bi onim nyanse bi anka se obetua e-levy da. Now, let's move forward. Section 90 of the Public Financial Management Act 2016, Act 921, demands that the governing body of a public corporation or state-owned enterprise shall establish the main policies, procedure, risk management and internal protocol system and governance and management practices to ensure that public prudently. No, I'm sorry, I'm skipping the lines. Let me start this again. Section 90 of the Public Financial Management Act 2016, Act 921, demands that the governing body of a public corporation or state-owned enterprise shall establish and maintain policies, procedures, risk management and internal control systems and governance and management practices to ensure that public corporation or state-owned enterprises manages its resources prudently and operates efficiently in accordance with the objectives for which the public corporation or state-owned enterprise was established. Ne krakra nyina ne tofa ne se emra a ya shato a ye friend act eye 921 no a eye auditor general de adwuma no o se eye aban adwuma bia no emra a ebo ho ban a ekire se eye akontabuo ene sika efa wunsem ene sika nhweso ene sibia adwuma enhyehyeye mu eye emra bo ho ban se eye adwuma sa adwuma de na aban adwuma no e make sure se sa adwuma no mobedi no pempen so because ye wamra ebo ho ban. State-owned enterprises, eye adwuma bia eye aban dia, ye ka se adwuma kuo we eye aban dia, Bøst eye aban dia, MPA eye aban dia, eye ye ne tax ene ye de bo sa adwuma no ho bra. Enti eman no emra ehye eye oma ye de dwuma die no ehye omonsa se ye de oman dwuma die ahye wonsa no emra no hye wo keten se eye adwuma no management sika ho nyoma toto eye sibia bibia bekokoso no emra wo ho a ewo se wudi so wendi so a embrano eni ubedi eno ehu brofo bebrebe no. Now oko the second paragraph. Sorry. So oko the second paragraph. This is what it says. We noted that mamim biam ye na sebio obia ehu na yenko enim. Now second paragraph ne say we noted that the Public Procurement Authority granted single source approval to Bøst to contract Messrs. Sienna Service Limited for consultancy services for front-end engineering design pipeline from APD Akosomo Depot to Kumasi Depot at a total cost not exceeding 5,857,680 Ghana cedis. Bøst Emma sa contract no omde ma hwan omudema a year Messrs. Sienna Service Limited for consultancy services. $5 million. Consultancy services. $5 million. Now, ode omuye a year conversion into Ghana cedis no a 35 million cedis. $5 million. So the Ghana schema a 35 million cedis. Now, Auditor General and our audit service also can say Bøst awarded a service contract to Sienna Services Limited at a total contract sum of 35 million Ghana cedis, inclusive of taxes. Sienna Services Limited, in accepting the award, quoted the contract price of 35.14 million Ghana cedis. Now, excluding VAT, NHIL, and Get Fund levy in a letter dated April 28, 2020. A contract near the mass anchor fund for consultancy, which is $5 million. It did not include what we call VAT, NHIL, and a Get Fund levy. They were supposed to pay those things. They are not a kanwa yede tax ye almost sa contract yede mo mu and almost the first no, but they na also mutia taxes woso VAT, NHIL and Get Fund no tax kana yede mo in dollars, $5 million and over dollars no. They were supposed to pay taxes on these things. Now it goes on to say this. The signed contract agreement reviewed indicates that the contract sum is 35.14 million, which excludes excluding VAT, NHIL, and Get Fund levy, contrary to the award notification and PPA approval amount. Now, so oko PPA for now approve contract na. Oko sa contract na PPA na. These things now exclude na fanka contract no. Oko PPA hot document na wana are totally different. Then yetumide contract echo PPA, Public Procurement Authority, to look into it, do the due diligence, and then sanction it for the money to be paid. Document in bedru na audit service ko hwe mu no. Na some taxes be a was a company ni tua, and once I was a tua ma Ghana man no. Sa taxes no document ni free PPA bedru ye na Bøst ni omo sign bibia no. Na some tax component be also butia e was sika e de mo 5 million and over no. Na ye yibi efrim. Enyam na meka e audit service where Bøst nkwa o. Ye Ghana ma contract, Bøst ma contract. Na VAT na also ye tua no. NHIL na ye tua no. Any Get Fund tax na also company na ya ma the contract tua no. Company no ye bedru Bøst no ye yi tax ni be afrim. And the company no is working free. No taxes on Get Fund, on NHIL, on VAT. Company no is not paying a cent. How come? Now, when you go ahead in this document or say, further review of the Sienna technical and financial proposal submitted to Bøst, dated November 2019, page 49, indicates that all prices are inclusive of VAT, NHIL, and a Get Fund. So who changed that from PPA to Bøst? Who at the end of the day, taxes now woman also company need to have $5 million, 35 million Ghana cedis, who took those taxes out? So now there are some people sitting there. Taxes are also companies etuama Ghana buying ma yedi sustain your mind. You want call for Ghana omutuwa almost sign contract with the companies tax no omutumi tax in free. Jack, there's a big problem. E-levy, a madness. Nobody should support that nonsense. Intiatihe, Busa, managing director of Bøst Provençal, say who took that tax component and when they free $5 million in him? Because the document at PPA said all these taxes are supposed to be paid by the company being awarded a contract. So who did this? And we are talking about millions of cedis. VAT, NHIL, Get Fund, $5 million, and ye VAT away from it. It's millions of cedis. So who did this? Why is the Auditor General not surcharging? Why is he keeping this quiet? Now let's move on. Similarly, 2 other procurement contracts were awarded with the same infractions being committed for namely Mezar Cam Associates Limited and Mezars Constructro Innovation Limited. Details are as shown attached. Behind these specific companies. Politicians be organ almost they are behind all these things. Their companies are all over Bøst. Yeah. Ote Mezar, that company no, a ringy bell pa, I will show you. Mezar, omutane politicians be juma pa, e be fifri for su ni ade ade. Omo no mutumi ni omo ye juma pa, politicians be fifri for su any ade ade. Omo no omo hye sa contract we nyina echi. Yeah. I will show you details. Tax component ye free. Who did it? Why is the Auditor General not surcharging? Now, this is what it says. Yeah, forgive me, Namiano, and then when you stable, sir. Okay, now when you go down there, it says the lapses occurred due to the inability of the managing director Edwin Provençal and head of legal Harriet Amwa to diligently scrutinize the procurement document before signing the contract agreement. They knew what they were doing. So clearly, the audit service is saying, the managing director and the head of legal, these 2 people, and Kamino Kasenkomo jail, and prosecute. We are talking about taxes. almost $6 million. Taxes be a free. And the audit service makes this look like a simple thing, writing grammar and then garnishing the grammar. The people have gone against the law. You read the act before you put your reports together. Why is Provençal and this lady called Harriet Amwa sitting? Why are they sitting? Why are they still having their office? Why are they still in office? Why is nobody being surcharged? Why is nobody being prosecuted? What is happening? Ope e-levy, mabubodam, majimi jimi na mugu Ghana. Enkwasiafo ni amamu positions and na mubu nkwafo so mu yankwasiafo because you just get what you want. Now let's move ahead. Mami chama DB. When you go to the second paragraph, this is what it says there. Maybe chiramo namu where one chiramo another two and sana ewie. Mo amwe jimina de bia mo nsa party ntini ete ha party ntini ete na ya chiramo nyansa. This is audit service, auditor general tesu. And then the amount for to me VAT women to VAT women to and where they meant to it is asking a coin. Who is taking that money? Now let's read this. The same report, further review of the Sienna technical and financial proposal submitted to Bøst, dated November 2019, page 49 indicates that all prices are inclusive of VAT, NHIL, and Get Fund. Now, I've read this, right? Okay, so when you move up, yes, when you move up, it says there is the risk of people overpayment to the suppliers or contractors if the anomaly is not corrected to reflect the original contract values. Now let me take this paragraph again. There is a risk of possible overpayment to the suppliers or contractors if the anomaly is not corrected to reflect the original contract values. In the audit service, they can't clearly say, clearly from what they have seen, no, people are being overpaid. There are so many inconsistencies and that this is a concern. This is the audit service. You have even asked him to send you a report clearing themselves. It came 7 January, year of March. The audit service, through the Auditor General, they have not been able to surcharge the managing director of Bøst. He goes on to say this. This has led to the non-payment of taxes, VAT, NHIL, and Get Fund levy by the suppliers or contractors to the Ghana Revenue Authority. And this is what the audit service through the Auditor General is saying. Sir, more actions way. Remember the Act 197. Your actions when you're given the job to do as a public officer leading such a state-owned enterprise, the law binds you. So why is the Auditor General not surcharging? That is my question. And you people are foolishly telling us to pay e-levy. Provençal is walking in and out, being paid every day. This lady, she is also Harriet Amwa, legal. These people are criminals because they could not write back to the Auditor General to tell him, say, all the mishaps you saw, no, these are the right things. They didn't. 7th. You came almost 2 months. Auditor General has not surcharged. Ask yourself why. Now, when you move forward, it says this. We recommend that management of Bøst should immediately retract or amend the existing signed contract agreement amount between the parties accordingly to reflect the approval letters from the Public Procurement Authority and the award notification letter from Bøst to include VAT, NIHL, Get Fund, and make viable and make available for our audit review failing, which any overpayment resulting from the lapses shall be jointly surcharged and overpayment surcharge to the managing director, head of legal, and the head of finance for not ensuring compliance. No. Now, the law says when the Auditor General leaves the premises, he went to audit through the audit service, and the Auditor General is not clear about some things. He gives that institution head the room to explain themselves. So the exit meeting, is where they discuss these things. Now, they give that respective institution a week or 2 to respond to them. So remember, when I started this, I read a quote from the audit service itself that they were supposed to respond to them on the 7th of January. Now, why is the audit service now saying that they will be found culpable? They have gone against the law. They did not even reply. They need to be surcharged. It looks at the same audit service or Auditor General. he is somebody who is defending criminals. Because you know the law, it is clear. It says it specifically. If you don't do this, you need to be surcharged. Why is the audit service now creating a room for them to run? Because as we speak now, the law, the act, they have gone against it. They are thieves. And the Auditor General, who is supposed to help us retrieve monies to be paid to the Ghana Revenue Authority, is shielding criminals. Because if you sit in an office, you sign a contract, where you VAT film, where you NHIL film, where you get fund, how dare you? You are a candidate for hell. You need to go in for like 20 years. Now the Auditor General is now carving a niche for these people to come and resurrect because they have committed a crime. They have gone against the act. They have not been able to respond to your queries. They have crossed that line. 2 months. You are still sitting here telling them, oh, do this. Why should we go back and rectify a contract whilst people have been paid already? The contract, as we see it now, it is an invalid contract. It's an illegitimate contract because from PPA, things were changed. The terms has been changed. If a contract, you change one statement in a contract, anytime you have to sit, it will be revised. We call it the revised edition. So you, the Auditor General, cannot tell them to go and change. If they revise the contract, it might not be 5 million again. It might end up at 20 million. So as we speak, somebody has committed a crime. You cannot, as an Auditor General, you don't even make that statement. That is why when you go to bank or when you are signing official document and you make a mistake and you cancel, they say sign your signature by it. Because the moment you sign by it, you are confirming that correction, you made it, and that document is a revised document. The moment you have made some changes, the document is not the same. So the Auditor General should not tell them to go back and rectify. We are talking about money that is flowing. You cannot bring it back. You yourself, you are saying that there's been some overpayment. The money has been squandered. The person who negligently did that needs to go to jail. You have the right to surcharge. So why are we here? Why are you telling us to go pay e-levy? What about them? $5 million. Man phone to your taxes. Now Ghana Revenue Authority will not get that money. Individuals. Now go to the last paragraph. We further recommend the immediate recovery of the VAT, NHIL, Get Fund, COVID levy. Oma you COVID levy ni nyina free mo. COVID-19 levy no, oma contractor ne ntua. COVID levy amounting to 1.6 million Ghana cedis. You see? Taxes close to 1.7 million. Somebody sat in your office and said, don't pay this, don't pay this. Something that the government in our constitution, it's clear. Somebody sits in your office. Don't pay this, don't pay this. Amounting to about 1.7 million Ghana cedis. This is Christ. This, Jesus Christ. And the government turns around and tells us, yes, I'm to your taxes. Now, from the president to the last person, are you people crazy? Now he says, we further recommend the immediate recovery of the VAT, NHIL, Get Fund, COVID-19 levy amounting to 1.6 million Ghana cedis on all the contract sum paid to Sienna Service and same paid to Ghana Revenue Authority. For our verification, the head of finance should ensure that VATs are paid to GRA on all subsequent milestone payment to Sienna. This is madness. So when will we find people guilty? This is the audit service. This is the Auditor General. The Auditor General is suggesting that Corona no mabono yanko back yanko clear problems no. This is the Auditor General. The Auditor General is now ebusa panyini. Oh, mo wie, mo fra Sienna for na, mo ngiji sikara na mo sanko tua VAT no. Ma mo nye saa de ni bi nwate. This is the audit service. This is the Auditor General. Now, question Penya Better TV say without e-levy, Ghana will collapse. Without e-levy, free SHS. Kwasiafo, go and take the money. Why are you not insisting the Auditor General surcharges the boss board, the legal board, manager, those financial people? Why are they still working? Why are they being paid? Tomorrow, the boss workers, you are not being paid anything. Serious demonstration should happen. This is part 2. I'm talking about part 35. Now, when you know, made better more, and come on, you must stimu. There are so many things I'm about to show you. Where part 2? Where Boston Kwao? Medimubera MPA. Medimubera all the governments, the state-owned enterprise. Mubehu sika. The Auditor General report no a lie. Crazy money, over 30 billion. Auditor General so 12 billion. You see the way he's shielding these people because they are all Akuffoaddo appointees. May I call second one? May I call the next one? I'm Chama DB. Now see this. This is another one. This is another one at Bøst. And the next time I say a part 33, part 35. Yes. A part 35. Metchamo 30 nyoma. Nina your one confidential document. President will be, Vice President will be, Finance Minister will be, Auditor General will be, a Managing Director of Bøst. Omunya kuta document we. They should come and say I'm a liar. Nothing of that sort is there. Let me tell my DB. Now here's second one way. These are procurement breaches. These are deliberate stealing. These are crimes. Oh, what they are gromunim DSC. Intimatrana mesrena me think of what tema. I know of what I see, what I know. So I can't 10% of what I know. Ghana. MPB about one akume musika manu. If I tell you all that I know, the things happening in Ghana. Me say the country would turn over. There are some things, I don't talk about it because they're too sensitive. Too sensitive to our security. Into our son, my say, hey, for the sake of peace. For the sake of peace, do sometimes my jai, Mr. Wade is too sensitive. One had the youth to get on the street and start killing people. They will start fighting each other. So I put those things down. I do some very selective work because some of them are bad and Tokobe see. I'm telling you. Let me see, make all the things I have. If I'm showing you people, come walk through. Now see this one. Audit Service Observation. Entity Bulk Oil Transport and Storage Company Limited. The Managing Director, Head of Account, External Auditors, December 29th, 2021. Irregular procurement process. USD $15 million. Irregular. You can say be irregular. Amfa ekwan paso. Procurement process no. Irregular procurement process no. You can $15 million. $15 million. What was say open e-levy? We are boa. Who say Jimmy BT TV say e-levy. Because we are boa. We are chain. Unim dia okeka. Sika we afani pansebo. Nipa na decide na plan a plot and omu sika we. But so Auditor General say, why hasn't all these people been surcharged? Now let's move forward. Now when you move forward, always I am happy say Auditor General Edin Kain STT Act no and son our kanasema and on a boy because nature say Auditor General no onim emrano. So why is he not applying the law? Now when you start reading, it says this: Section 40 of the Public Procurement Act 2003, Act 663, as amended, provided that, and I quote, a procurement entity may engage in single source procurement under Section 41 with approval of the board. End of quote. So audit service for no always be they quote the emranica. Until at the end of the day, no emrano eka clearly so with the four they need to surcharge you. Until minimum audit service keeps putting that law, the acts there, and not acting. I don't get it. Is it just for people to think you are working? There is a reason why the acts have been put there. Now you're reading the issues. Section 28 and Section 40 of the Public Procurement Act 2003, Act 663, as amended, provide that a procurement entity shall record, file, and preserve the document that relates to the procurement proceedings, regulations, and the public procurement, public records, and archives according to the Administration Act 1997 Act 535. Audit Service with state acts. No, if you go against the act, what is the next action? Every time there are state the act naka, the embranaka. Let's move forward. Our review of the procurement process and contract document showed that management of Bøst awarded contract to Honeywell Southern Africa Pty Limited, Pty Limited, and STL Logistics Ghana Limited. I need to read as well. Let me move it up. Okay. Our review of the procurement process and contract document showed that management of Bøst awarded contract to Honeywell Southern Africa Pty Limited to undertake the terminal upgrade for their 6 depots at the sum of 15,592,210 Ghana cedis. $15 million. Bøst for Emma South African company way any Ghana company say some upgrade be almost 6 depots. No, it amounts to $15 million. Further review revealed that due procurement process was not followed, as Bøst, in the quest to upgrade the petroleum terminals, had interaction between Honeywell Southern Africa Pty Limited and STL Logistics Ghana Limited. I need to take this. I'm sorry, it's my essay. Further review revealed that due procurement process was not followed, as Bøst, in the quest to upgrade the petroleum terminals, had interaction between Honeywell Southern Africa Pty Limited and STL Logistics Ghana Limited. In a letter reference Bøst SCR 14-18-285 dated 19 January 2016, Bøst failed to seek prior approval from the board of the Public Procurement Authority and has no requests and approval letters provided to the effect in relation to the process. 2016, NDC was in power. When NDC was in power, this deal happened. Who were the guys in charge? We need to bring them back. We need to start asking them questions. What happened? The procurement process, something happened. It wasn't right. Somebody needs to answer questions, because the Auditor General, through the the Audit Service, they went in there and they realized that 2016 some contract was given to these companies, this South African company. Now the question is, what happened for the procurement, irregular procurement? You know, who were the leaders at Bøst then? Those people are supposed to be brought back. You see, we need to make sure, say, nothing leaks, irrespective of the government in power. If it was NDC time, people are supposed to be questioned. We don't have to be selective about Yakwachi way for NDC. Yeah, MPP for Din Kwasiasam. 99% of this crime happening, it is happening under provincial. But still, the Audit Service has been able to find something in 2016. So we need to get to the bottom of it. We need to get to the bottom of who was the head of Bøst in 2016. We need to bring them. Who signed the document? Who was at procurement? These people are supposed to answer questions. And we don't have to say because of this party, because of this party, so let it go. No, we are talking about $50 million. The way the government of the day today is going after other people, the government should be able to make sure, say, it goes after everybody who has offended, who has gone against the law. So as we sit here, who is actually asking the questions? Who is actually bringing people in to answer questions? And these are things that every day I keep saying. If you think the platform is for somebody's good day, you are crazy. The platform is to check the system. And if they say all these documents are fake, they should bring us their right documents. The president has this. The Audit Service has this. The Auditor General has it. Everybody has it. It is confidential. They CC all of them in there. Why is everybody quiet? We are not going to be selective here. When it comes to this country, asking the questions, making sure the right thing is done, we need to ask questions all around. Yeah, you are being seen chain. Me, when I get a document, now 2010, 2012, Mahama time, Mahama, I will tell you who actually signed the document and who has caused financial loss to the state. I don't care. And these are things we need to be asking. This deal was signed in 2016. Who was president then? It was the NDC. Mahama, let us bring people in and let them answer questions. If they can prove that this was a legitimate deal and all the monies we are talking about is legitimate, they can prove, that's it. If they can't prove, the law should work. Senior Beya Embraniso, Naso Obisuba, not all prosecute it becomes the norm because we cannot be selective about who to prosecute and who not to prosecute. Until let's get this right. The damage Bøst, damage Ghana for, we should not think it's a joke. It is not. It is never a joke. It is important we all set up. Now, let me show you another thing. This one is another one at Bøst. Me say Bøst package we know part 35. It doesn't matter where the crime is coming from. I will show you people page by page. Me say I will show you people page by page. Remember, pa, on your politician no. On pen kwasi 17 on your politician no. It's why all person your politician no. Make sure say accountability is your hallmark. If you know you want to be a politician, your accountability should be your hallmark. Don't try to be a politician. I bring their taxes bit to your car. Then you sit there and say, I am not going to. Don't talk about me. You are crazy. We will talk about you as far as you are being paid by the taxpayer. Now see. This is the same Bøst. I always get happy when a year the audit service so must a year act now. I get so happy. Failure to obtain prior approval for TSL Logistics Ghana Limited contract extension. Failure to obtain prior approval for TSL Logistics Ghana Limited contract extension. We are talking about $1.8 million. $1.8 million. And our audit service, as usual, they stated all the act. Now let's read what they actually noticed, and I say what they through their inquiry and what they found. We noted that Bøst requested for extension of the terminal management contract between Bøst and TSL Logistics Ghana Limited in a letter reference Bøst SCR 35 PPA 30171 dated December 19th, 2019, to which approval was granted by the Public Procurement Authority with reference number blah 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 and dated January 2020 to cover a period between December 31st, 2019 to March 31st, 2020. Now, at a cost not exceeding $300,000. Remember, $300,000. The contract was supposed to be $300,000. So as we speak, what PPA approved in 2019 about this contract, was just $300,000. $300,000 for 2 trim. Now young queen and Now, however, upon expiration on March 31st, 2020, management failed to obtain prior approval from PPA for the additional contract extension period of 6 months at a cost totaling $1.8 million, of which TSL was still engaged for their services. Details are shown. PPA documenter a woho exchange said TSL wino Bøst ma contract of just 3 months of $300,000. Now, what the audit service saw and say, the TSL was still working, meaning they gave them another 3 months, technically 9 months, because they are seeing say the company was paid $1.8 million, meaning their contract was extended 3 months again, without them going back to PPA for them to scrutinize the new 3 months, because what PPA approved was just $300,000. How come at the end of the day the company is taking a year $1.8 million, contract extended, everything extended without the approval or the sanction of PPA. So it means somebody at Bøst is extending contracts in their office and taking Bøst money to pay people. Because on paper, PPA only agreed on $300,000. Why is it that at the end of the day, today, we are talking about $1.8 million? Who extended the contract? PPA didn't know about the extension. Who paid the money? And who actually authorized that payment? These are questions, sir. We don't need to sleep over. People need to go to jail. We don't need to pay any what we call e-levy. Now, when you move forward in this same document, this is what it says. I think I'll be a breakdown or baby a chrono free buy. Now, when you look at the table there, this is what the table says. Extension of the terminal management contract between Bøst and TSL Logistics Ghana Limited. You see, April to June 2020. Remember, the contract was from December to March, 300,000. December, January, February, March. I think it was 3 months. I think December to March. And then it was a contract, and the 3 months. And no, and a war in the books of PPA. Now, Bøst extended the contract from April to June, April, May, June, 3 months again, paid another $300,000. Now the question is, who is paying this money? Who is giving authorization? The management of Bøst. Without PPA approval, somebody is sitting in the office and extending contracts. This is a state-owned enterprise. And the act says this clearly. You don't have that right to do that. Now, when you go into the books, you see, remarks, although the team cited a request letter indicating PPA approved in a letter dated April 17, 2020, PPA CEO, the approval letter was not provided. When audit service, PPA, in fact, approved it. And that there's a letter we can show you that is on the 17th of April and and the letter from PPA that has reference number there and all that. PPA are saying they did not approve the $300,000 and the other $300,000. So who actually approved it and who paid? Because PPA for Chirokoma audit service said, Bobo, we don't know anything about this extension, and it's in the remarks. Now, when you go down there, October to December 2020, another $300,000. Remember, and yes, these are some you can know how. Bøst, Provençal. Bøst, another 300,000 extension. Then he made it 900. Now remember, say, and yet $300,000 bill. And yet 300. And no, $300,000 every month. Into 3 months, Biano, you're saying $900,000. Into only demand for 6 months. But technically, on the books of PPA, the job is supposed to be done for 3 months. But do you know the funny thing? What they are doing now is they are extending the contracts at their own pace. Every month be $300,000. Every month be $300,000. Every month be $300,000. But originally, it is just $300,000, which was supposed to be because the job was supposed to be done for just 1 month. But now it ended up say every month they are paying $300,000. So every 3 months they pay $900,000. Putting it together for 6 months, it is $1.8 million. And PPA is saying they can only vouch for only one $300,000. The rest, they don't know how it came in. The rest. So when you see me make noise, insult these fools, you say they think it's a joke. You die. I'm telling you, the youth will get out and go kill and go destabilize the nation. But people like us, we think better, we think deep ahead. We try to save the nation. So on paper, a year PPA only approved only $300,000. But these people added another 5 months. Every month, they are paying $300,000. PPA doesn't know who is signing the check. $900,000 in 6 months. 1.8 million. $900,000. 900,000. $1.8 million. Bøst. Now, when you go down there, this is what they wrote. Management disregard of the procurement process. What does the Constitution say? What does the Act say? When somebody disregards the procedure, Constitution, the procurement procedure, what does the Constitution say you, the Auditor General, should do? What does the Constitution say? The Constitution makes it clear. If somebody does not follow the procedure, procurement procedure, what do you do? Management disregard of the procurement process and not complying with the provision of the law caused the contravention. The Audit Service now is the biggest criminal office in this country. They play with words, they play with grammar, they sugarcoat words. Obia dibone, not almost the contravention. And what are you talking about? It is clear the guys have gone against the law. They need to be surcharged and prosecuted. The anomaly undermines the integrity of the contract between the parties, and this is a breach of the fundamental principles upon which single source procurement are granted as specified under Section 40 of the Act. The Act says this clearly. What are the consequences when you do that? Abuse of office. There's abuse of office, there's corruption, there's negligence, there's everything in there. People have to land in jail. Everything. There's every disease in there. You recommend that management provide the audit team with justification. Jesus Christ. Hear the nonsense from the audit service. We recommend that management provides the audit team with justifications leading to the contraventions and federal right to PPA in accordance with Section 90 of the Act 663 as amended, failing which the offenses relating to procurement under Section 92 shall be applied to the officers who authorize and sanction the transaction. The management, the managing director is there. He is the one. The legal team, board, boss, she is there. The finance guy. So who are you looking for again? Guys, that's it. I can't do this anymore. I'll be right back after this short break. Whatever you want to say, you say. I'm done. I'll be back after this short break.